Here's a painting I did while on my recent painting trip to California. It is called the famous lone cypress tree at Pebble Beach, California, about halfway down the 17-mile drive. It's a beautiful drive and usually very crowded, but because of COVID, it's not as popular anymore, and there's plenty of room to park and plenty of room to observe. So I started my painting in California and then finished it when I got home. Now, Cypress Point is famous because the tree is 250 years old. The Monterey cypress is very hardy and can live up to 300 years or even more in ideal conditions. This particular one is not in ideal conditions. This one isn't in ideal conditions. It's exposed to the wind and the rain and the ocean weather. And in February of 2019, one of the branches snapped off. This is one of the rarest trees in the world. It's found naturally only in two areas, within a few hundred yards of the Pacific Ocean. One of the areas is the Monterey Peninsula, and the other one is Point Lobos, California. But now it has been planted all over the world in favorable locations. These Monterey cypress seem to thrive in areas where salty ocean spray and harsh winds would probably have killed any other species. You can see in my photo how windswept the trees are. This is thought to be the most photographed tree in North America, and I can see why. I painted it with the alla prima method. Alla prima means all at once. And in the previous 3 short videos I did, less than a minute each, I told about my 3 favorite ways to start a painting. And the alla prima method is the one that doesn't use any kind of preparation of drawing or value studies. It's just jumping in with colors and shapes and everything all at once without any preparation. And it certainly makes for a lot of fun, even though it might have the ability to go south on me. I'm using gouache, Gouache, which is an opaque paint similar to acrylic, because you can change your mind lots of times and cover up previous paint, even light over dark. The reason I like it better than acrylic, especially for painting out and about, is because it's re-wettable, both on your painting and on your palette. And so being outdoors, it doesn't dry up like acrylic does, or if it does, you can still wet it and reuse it. After I explored this area, the 17-mile drive where this tree is, I continued on down Big Sur, which is the California coastline south of here. And I had forgotten that a year earlier I had read that part of Route 1 had collapsed into the ocean. And I wasn't thinking about that when I headed down Big Sur. And I got about 25 miles down, and Siri started telling me, make a U-turn, pull over and make a U-turn and head back north again. I didn't know what this meant, so I pulled over into the ranger station and asked why Siri was telling me to make a U-turn. And of course, the ranger hollered at me for not knowing that south of where I was, the entire Route 1 had collapsed into the ocean. I put a link in the description of this video, a link to the video of the news of that collapse when it happened and the damage that was done, in case you want to see what it looked like. And as luck would have it, there's no shortcut over to Paso Robles and Las Vegas, which is where I was headed. So I had to turn around and head all the way back to Salinas, and added a couple of hours to my trip, but the scenery was well worth it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed painting it. I did other paintings on this road trip also. One of the Colorado River on a cliff overlooking it, and then a couple more of Monterey Bay and Pacific Grove. So I'll be posting them on my YouTube channel, and I hope that you'll enjoy watching them and then watching me paint, and that maybe you'll subscribe and see more in a road trip that I have coming up of Morro Bay and more of the coast of California. I also have a short video after this one showing how I used water-soluble crayons over the top of this finished painting to add extra highlights.